everyone. I'm Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer-Kahan, and today I'm here to have a conversation about resources and relief for our small businesses. I'm joined today by Scott Rogalski from the Northern California Small Business Development Center. Thank you, Scott, for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
We're here to have this conversation because we know that our small businesses in our community are hurting as a result of the steps we've taken to flatten the curve for coronavirus. These steps were important to our health, but we understand the impacts they're having on our local small businesses. So we want to be here to provide answers and information for you regarding how the government is here to support you. So we're going to go through a few questions with Scott to get you some information today. I want to thank the entire team at SBDC for all the hard work you've been doing through this pandemic. I understand that our small businesses are struggling and you are one of the resources that they can reach to. So I want to appreciate you and your organization for that. Can you begin by telling us what the Small Business Development Center is and what resources they can provide to our small business owners?
Yes, thank you very much, Assemblymember. Yes, the SBDC, Small Business Development Centers, we are a federally funded grant program from SBA, Small Business Administration. So it's your federal tax dollars at work. You get to work with us at no cost. We have advisors available to help you. Without a disaster, we have advisors to help you start, grow, operate, sustain, hire people, understand operations, possibly do an e-commerce platform, start your restaurant or your food artisan business, possibly help you with some manufacturing or agricultural, very different industries. But for disaster, we are here for you at no cost to help you, find the right loans or the right disaster relief or the right possibly new faith as far as you trying to keep your business open, keep your people employed, and then also possibly grow your business and get out of this disaster.
Well, thank you. I know that part of what makes my district in California so great is our small businesses. So we appreciate all the work you do before this and the work you're going to continue to do to keep that economy alive. So the main reason I wanted to have you here today is to talk to you about the two new federal programs that I know there are a lot of questions about. We're getting a lot of questions in my office, so I thought we could provide a little bit of clarity. So one is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or EIDL, and the second is the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. And in the CARES Act, they gave $350 billion. They appropriated it to provide relief to small businesses. Can you tell us more about these loans? We'll start with the EIDL SBA loan. What's the program? How can businesses access that money? How is it helpful?
Yes, thank you. So it is a little confusing to understand the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and the Triple P. One of the things that SBDC specializes in is helping business owners access capital and understanding the intricacies of what that would take, how to apply, how to find the right lender, how to put your financials together. And in the world that we live in now, there are really only two loans on the marketplace that can help small businesses currently. There's others that are being created as we speak. But the EIDL, so you can go to norcalsbdc.org, and in the middle of the page, it says COVID-19 relief. You click on that, and it instantaneously goes to the brand new Google form, sba.gov EIDL form that you need to fill out. It's about 5 pages. It's a lot easier than it was when it first launched. If you applied before March 31st on the old form and have not heard back from SBA, whether in your regular email or a spam email, then you're going to need to reapply on this link because the form changed and they are redoing and retooling all the other stuff that happened. And unfortunately, you do have to reapply if you applied before March 31st and have not heard back. The EIDL loan, the biggest thing about the EIDL loan is that it's a 30-year loan. It's 3.75%, so it's amortized for 30 years. This money is directly given to you as a small business owner from SBA, Small Business Administration. There's no monies that are included in this loan from lenders. It's direct money from SBA. Mm-hmm. None of it is forgiven except for there's a $10,000 advance that you can apply for, up to $10,000, depending on how many employees you have. You may or may not get up to $10,000. Once you apply, once you get that money, it's called an advance, that money is forgiven. So there's up to $10,000 that you can get depending on how many employees you have. Once you apply for that and get it in the mail, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get it. then that money is forgiven. But the other money that you apply for the EIDL, say like $100,000 or 25,000 or 50, that money you'll get is not forgivable. It's a 30-year loan at 3.75%. It is not forgivable. And the max on that loan is $2 million, and the minimum is $5,000.
And who's eligible for those?
So it's really awesome, actually. So SBA does not normally lend to nonprofits. They also don't normally lend to passive income providers or passive income business structures, such as if you own a building and you have tenants, you're a landlord, those people apply. So if you own a commercial building, have tenants, you qualify. If you, as an individual, if you have a second home and you rent it as an Airbnb, you also qualify as long as you have put it on your Schedule C in the previous years. You qualify as a gig economy, somebody that has side hustles like Uber or Lyft, or like I mentioned, Airbnb. If you're a real estate agent or you're a hairstylist, anything that you would do as a 1099 contractor that you would file on your Schedule C, you qualify now, which is really awesome. All 501c3s qualify, even faith-based organizations. And then for the nonprofits, they increased the employee account from 500 to 750, which is awesome. So larger nonprofits like colleges and whatnot can also apply up to 750 employees. So it's pretty much open to anyone. It's not open to the industries that are not federally eligible, like cannabis or risque businesses or maybe a gambling institution. But there is some leniency within the gambling, and as well as like maybe a hemp business. If it's under a third of your income for your overall income, you may qualify. So SBA is saying not to discourage anyone from applying. Please apply, and the faster that you apply, the better.
Got it. Well, that's good information. So it sounds like if anybody's in need of a loan, it's a good one to access, especially that $10,000 at the beginning that'll be forgiven.
Yes.
So that's a little bit about the EIDL loan. Can you talk about the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, and how that works?
Yes. So real quick on the EIDL loan, I forgot to mention one thing. The payment is deferred for 11 months, and the first payment is not due until the first of the 12th month. So really awesome as far as deferment goes. For the
right now about paying it back while they're suffering, which is really important.
Yes, exactly. So the Payment Protection Program, I like to call it the Triple P because it's easier to say, so this money is money that comes from lenders. It comes from like our everyday SBA 7A, which is the product that the loan, the PPP is under. So that is Triple P money comes from lenders, and then SBA will back it. They'll guarantee the loan as like an insurance risk. In case the business owner can't pay it back, SBA will pay back the lender the money. So it's a 100% backed loan. Most SBA loans are not 100% backed. They're anywhere between 50 and 90 or 95% backed, depending on the loan program. So this is a 100% backed guaranteed loan that lenders are doing, our everyday 7A preferred lenders, SBA lenders. And this loan is a lot different from the EIDL loan. So it is a 1% loan instead of 3.75. It is a 2-year loan instead of a 30-year loan. You are potentially able to get the first 2 months of expenditures for this loan forgiven. So the first 2 months or 8 weeks are forgiven if 75% of the money that you spent was used on payroll costs, and 25% was used on rent, utilities, and interest debt payments. So it is possible to get it the first 2 months or 8 weeks forgiven. There is some verbiage within that, and it is case by case per business with the lenders. So the lenders are the one that are making the decision on these loans. It's not SBA. SBA did write the policy and procedures and the standard operating procedures for it, but the lenders are deciding on how they want to administer these loans. And with the Triple P, the deferment is 6 months of payments instead of 11 months on the EIDL. The max on the Triple P is 10 million, which is 5 times higher than what EIDL's max is at 2 million. So there are some interesting differences. The other thing, as it stands now, the triple P could only be used for rent or lease payments. If you have a mortgage on it, like you own your building, that includes that. Utilities, which is telephone, internet, email, payroll costs, and then interest debt payments. So if you have other loans out there, like vehicle or car loans for your business, your debt payments that you make every month, you can include that into your monthly overall payments. You take that monthly payment, times it by 2.5, and that's what you can qualify for the triple P.
Interesting. And it's the same group of people who can qualify, the same nonprofits?
Yes, same. The only thing with the triple P, the employee max is 500 for a nonprofit instead of 750 like the EIDL. You still can be a 501c3. The only addition to triple P on nonprofits is you can also be a 501c19, which is a veteran business organization specific to veterans. It's a C19. But yeah, the same thing with the triple P. You can be any entity. When they launched it on April 3rd, they did not launch it for sole proprietors, and they did not launch it for 1099 contractors. That new legislation comes out tomorrow on April 10th. So we're hoping to learn more about that.
Great. So as you mentioned, right, people are being urged to apply for this if they don't know if they can qualify, and then figure it out. But we're hearing that some SBA lenders have already exhausted their funding under the program. Have you heard any news about whether Congress is going to add additional funding or whether there are additional funds available for folks?
Yes, there are. So what's going on with this triple P is the amount of people that are applying in a very, very short time. So nobody was ready for it, not even SBA, not the lenders. So we are being told there's potentially another tranche that is coming of $250 billion for the triple P. And then with the triple P, if your current lender, whether it be a big bank or a little bank or a small community bank or a credit union, is not offering the triple P anymore, you can come to your local SBDC office, Small Business Development Center office, and we can work with you and help you fill out the universal triple P application. And then what we can do is we can help you find a lender that is working with non-customers. There's very few in the state of California that we've been able to find, but there's more and more that gets created daily, because everyone in the community knows that these business owners need money to rehire their employees, stay in business, get them off unemployment, and possibly one day, hopefully soon, reopen. And the only way to do that is if they get money today or in the next week or very, very quickly. And if triple P runs out of money, then there has to be other avenues to get it. And SBDCs are privy to this information.
Great. So and just to add to that, I was on a phone call with Congressman Swalwell, who I work with closely yesterday, and he reiterated what you're saying, which is a commitment of Congress to continue to support these efforts to keep our small businesses alive. So hopefully more relief is on the way. And you touched on those who we're hearing from a lot of people whose lenders, they don't have a lender, they're getting nowhere with their lenders. So it sounds like the advice is to call SBDC and try to get help filling out that universal form and finding a lender. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So we're not a direct lender. We work like lenders. We also work like brokers and loan packagers, but we are one that you can trust, since we don't charge anything. We're not charging you $2,500 to put your loan package together and to get you to a lender. We know of all the no-cost services. We're no cost. And we also know how to get you to lenders that are not going to take advantage of you.
That's great. And right now, especially, it's important to have trusted sources. There are, unfortunately, people who are taking advantage of this situation. So I appreciate that. And you mentioned independent contractors can apply, right? Self-employed individuals. Did I get that right?
So for the EIDL loan, yes, they can apply today. For the triple P, there's new legislation that's supposed to come out tomorrow, April 10th, and then they will be able to apply. We haven't heard anything that says that they will not be able to apply, but right now it's on hold for them to actually go to a lender and ask for a loan for their sole proprietor or independent contractor job.
So right now they should focus on the EIDL loan, but maybe tomorrow they can then seek out.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay. And churches and nonprofits, same answer?
Same answer. So I'm not sure about the triple P for the nonprofits, for the church-based ones, faith-based ones. For the EIDL, it is open now that faith-based can apply for the EIDL. I'm assuming that they can also apply for the triple P. Even though the triple P is not an SBA loan, it is an SBA-backed loan, guaranteed loan. And they, since they opened it up on the EIDL for a nonprofit's faith-based, I'm almost positive the triple P can do it as well.
Awesome. Super helpful. All this clarification. It's confusing, and it's helpful to have an expert who can explain it to us. So thank you. Is there anything else you would recommend for small business owners to do besides focus on getting one of these two relief loans?
So yes. So I would, if you are concerned on if you should apply or if you should not apply, or if you qualify or you don't qualify, you need to put all that aside and you need to apply for the EIDL and the triple P, because the only people that really know if you're approved or not are the beholders of the money. So EIDL is through SBA. They're going to tell you if you approve or not, or qualify or not. I'm not going to be able to tell you. There's no person in the community that's going to be able to directly tell you, hey, if you started your business January 1st, there's no way you're going to qualify. Well, we really don't know. We just need you to apply, so then we will know. We're not supposed to discourage anyone from applying. The system and the deciders of the loan or the money will tell you if you qualify or not. So the goal is, and the decision you need to make right now today as a business owner or nonprofit, is you need to apply for the EIDL, and then you also need to apply for the triple P. What you really need to know, though, is that you can apply for both, but you can't apply for both for the same purpose. So what that means is, if you apply for the EIDL today, you apply for the triple P today, but you apply for both for the same thing, like payroll, rent, utilities, interest, debt payments, and you get the triple P money before you do the EIDL, well, then you have to use the triple P money for the first 2.5 months. And then if you run out, then you can go back and get the EIDL. It's a little confusing as far as the intricacies and how they break it down, because the EIDL, you can use it for pretty much almost all of your cost of goods and almost all of your operating expenses, which includes rent, utilities, payroll, and interest debt payments. So if you're a small business owner and you want to take the best advantage of both loan programs, it would be best to reach out to your local SBDC, and we can help you figure that out, because we're being told how to kind of calculate those transactions. We're being told how to best look at them. And then from our own experience with working with lenders and business owners and financials, like their tax returns, their income statement and balance sheet, we know how to structure and put together really good loan packages and how best to explain your scenario so that it presents the best way for you, the lender, and your business.
That's super helpful. So I hope everybody who's listening knows to call you so they can get the best advice about how to take advantage of these two products, because it sounds like you can use both, and both can be forgiven in part. So it makes sense to maximize that.
Yes.
So finally, one of the questions we're getting a lot is about business interruption insurance. And some of the folks that have that are not able to utilize that. Can you give us a little bit more information about this?
Yes. So this is also something that's very unknown. But what we're hearing in the marketplace, and as far as talking to different insurance carriers and Department of Insurances in different states, is that it's something that insurance carriers are still waiting to hear back from, the California Insurance Department for as far as guidance on how to move forward with this. So there is, just like fire and other things, flood, that are in insurance coverage declaration pages. Disaster is also in there somewhere, but it may or may not be in your coverage per se. But it also may be that you're just not unsure of. As we all know right now today, we are experiencing something that we have never experienced. And I will tell you this, SBA, their normal transactions for the year is what they're experiencing in one day right now. as far as number of people applying, number of people calling them, number of people asking for questions. So that's the same thing with insurance coverage. We haven't heard a definitive answer on this yet. We're still kind of waiting for a little bit of legislation and a little bit of per state insurance department decision making, but yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We'll continue to work on that because it's important. So I want to thank you for everything you're doing, everything EBDC is doing. I know that I'm a huge fan of all the local businesses that I go to every day, and continuing to support them as individuals, but as a government, we also need to make sure that that part of our economy continues to thrive because it is what it makes it so special and wonderful. So thank you. And I want, one of the things you've said is reach out to SBDC, reach out, get the information, get advice, try to maximize the benefit. So how do people reach you? Can you tell them?
Yes, they can call my phone number and my office line that goes to a voicemail that a lot of my advisors check for me to help me out is 916-479-9722. And my email is Scott, SCOTT, at NorCal, NORCAL, SBDC.org.
Thank you, Scott. And this has been incredible, helpful. I learned a lot, so I hope that everybody who tunes in learns something and gets some questions answered and knows who to go to as a trusted source to get the support they need. Our small businesses are under a tremendous stress at this time. And we know that we're going to get through this, and we know that we will be here to support you through it. And I know SBDC is here before, during, and after this pandemic. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to SBDC. Don't hesitate to reach out to my staff. We're here to support you as well. My office is open and we're answering calls as usual. You can also call 925-2815. You can also reach me by email at assemblymember.bauer-kahan, keep that as hard as possible, at asm.ca.gov. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for the continued work you do to support our communities. And we're here to support you back.